What up, guys? Welcome back to the Big Screen Show. I'm Alex.
I am Wyatt. Hey guys, haven't seen y'all since the Sound of Freedom episode. I am a good friend of Victor, a good friend of Alex. I'm super excited to be with Alex. Sadly, Victor is not caught up on the Bad Batch. Maybe he'll be with us by the end of the season, but I'm super excited to be with Alex covering this season of the Bad Batch. I'm a Star Wars super fan, as you can see by the pops I have above. Even got the Bad Batch minus Omega up here. We're here to cover episode 3 or episode 4 after the harrowing 3 episode premiere. The Bad Batch continues with season 3 episode 4, A Different Approach. We open with Omega and Crosshair barreling through hyperspace in the Imperial shuttle that they stole. After the dogfight last episode, the ship is heavily damaged. They pop out of hyperspace and are forced to crash land on the planet of Lao. Good opening. We've talked about the openings. We talked about all the openings in our season premiere episode. What did you think of the opening on this episode? We kind of like get right into the action. I love what they're doing with these openings, getting us right into the mix and not beating around the bush. What'd you think?
Oh yeah. This is actually the star opener is a really good kicker. It's a good kickstarter for what's gonna go on because it's cause like this gives us like a first ever thing where it's like Crosshair and Omega together on a mission, and like that's honestly nothing I would ever have imagined going forward. But honestly, this is actually a pretty favorable point of the episode because this actually just shows how very capable Omega is, and even this is probably like the good point where Crosshairs probably is a bit more open to Omega's suggestions and how best she handles the situation.
Especially because of Crosshair's situation that he has with his hand. We see his
Mm.
hand shaking. He really can't. He really doesn't have the sniping abilities that I guess he used to have, or the shooting abilities that he used to have. We even see him going with some hand to hand combat instead of using his gun in some situations. So he is having to lean on Omega, and Omega is kind of taking the lead here with wanting to fly under the radar going into the spaceport that they go into on this planet of Lao. Back on Tantus, Hemlock visits Nalase in her prison cell. He clearly knows that something went down with her and Omega. And more importantly, he knows that she destroyed all of Omega's blood samples and has been covering for Omega this whole time. Nalase kind of throws it on science, saying, like, hey, false positives happen in science. They're going to happen with these type of experiments. But Hemlock is not believing it. Sucks for Nalase that she's locked up in prison. But hey, objective complete. Omega got out of there.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time until Hemlock throws someone their way to try and collect them.
Nah, real talk. And now with the Empire's discussion with Hemlock in episode 3, he has the full force of the Empire behind him. And I love what we're about to get into with the full force of the Empire going after Omega, going after Crosshair, and potentially going out after the Bad Batch. Crosshair, obviously, like we said, wants to fight his way into this heavily guarded port that is on the planet. Omega decides that they need some disguises, so they grab some disguises off the clothesline to disguise. And Omega, like we said, is trying to take the more
Subtle approach.
the more subtle approach to this situation. So she goes and she tries to bribe the. Do you know? Did you get if it was a person or a droid? I really couldn't figure it
I'm
out.
pretty sure it was a person because like droids aren't made to take bribes.
You're right. You're right. So it was a person. I think they just had like a mask on. You really couldn't see their face very well. But Omega says, "Hey, what's it going to take for us to get 2 tickets on to this shuttle?" And she says 15,000 credits
Each.
Each. Yeah. She thought it was 15,000 at first, but now she said 15,000 each. They're kind of getting hustled. They're kind of getting played a little bit, but they walk off and kind of gather the situation. Like, hey, what do we do? And Omega comes up with the idea to go and play. I don't know exactly the game they're playing, but I guess it's kind of like poker. It's a gambling game, gambling card game that they play in bars. And
Yeah.
she goes and she's taking this guy's cash as usual because we've seen her skills at the card games and at gambling in Sid's shop. So
Yeah, yeah.
another skill she learned on the way.
Yeah, I think what know is because like originally it was like playing hollow chess, but I think what is the game was Sabacc. Because again, that was because if you remember from the movie Solo, a Star Wars story, that's literally how Han actually won the Millennium Falcon from Lando.
Man. I think it was Sabak. You're right, bro. I had a little brain fart right there. I really just watched the episode today. I want to go ahead and watch it a second time though. That's how good it was. It almost had me at tears in the end here. Crosshair. Oh, building on the previous season, Omega learned how to hustle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up hustling these guys until a really climactic scene. The Imperial officer
Yeah.
walks into the bar. Everybody's like to attention. Everybody realizes this guy has come in here. He runs shit. He runs shit around here, and he knows that. He walks in, gets his usual drink, and is intrigued with the match that's going on. The bartender even tells him that, hey, these newcomers are attracting a lot of people tonight. We're having a good night of business. And he even picks up some money from the bartender. The people paying their dues, paying their taxes. It's kind of like a little Robin Hood scene with the tax collector
Yeah,
coming around.
it's like where that whole print where the Prince guy basically comes in just taking all their money, like the sheriff of Nottingham.
Yeah. He even wanted a little extra because they were having a good night.
Yeah, but hey, look, as he's trying to play against Omega, right when he
Yeah.
thinks that he's gonna be winning, nope. Omega literally takes him with like these three high cards. I think it's like three sunset stars or something like that.
I forgot what they called it. The Captain Omega's game is tense. He's not a fan of Batcher. He did kick Batcher. He kicked
Yeah,
Batcher out that thing, man.
made him
Uh,
nervous.
yeah. The it does not say what it was that she beat him with, but it was a special move, pretty much I don't know, yeah, just a special move. I don't know what it would be compared to in poker or something like
Oh
that. I
yeah,
really want to research this game. Maybe I get a card set and we can play against each other.
that's gonna take a while for me to figure out, but I'd be down for that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we could try it out.
I remember what it's called. The three cards that she laid out to win the match. It was called the three Eastern Stars cards. That's what it
Okay, I
was.
got you. Boom, there it is. But she's played the three Eastern Stars. Really, I want to see what's up with that move. I'm gonna look into the card set for real. Um, as Omega, and she takes his money. She gets 20,000 credits from him.
Mhm.
Funny thing is, as Omega and Crosshair try to leave, the captain is notified about the shuttle outside of town. He stops them from leaving, saying there's a fine to pay since gambling is illegal. Omega quickly pays it so they can avoid getting arrested, and the Imperial leaves just like that. The clones have the money they need and head towards the port. Really dirty of him,
Mhm.
making him pay the fine after the man just gambled himself. But what do you expect?
Can't go against the Imperial officer.
Yeah, what do you expect? You gotta pay him. There was nothing else to do. I think you took 10. Didn't you take 10 from him?
Yep, 10,000 credits.
Yeah, 10,000 credits. They were still left with 35,000 credits. Pretty
Mhm.
solid.
Yeah.
They head outside and Batcher is gone.
Gone.
Batcher's gone. The fruit stand kid, who was a kid that was standing outside this bar, this establishment when they went in, knows where the hound went, but is asking a hefty price. They have to give him 5,000 credits to tell them where the dog went. Guess where the dog went? The Empire stole him and pretty much confiscated him. So, what's Omega do? You know the
Yeah,
saying. We said it last episode. She's
never
not gonna
leaving,
leave
leaving,
any
never
of her
leaving dog
dogs
behind.
behind. Like it's not
Yep,
happening.
yep,
uh,
yep.
so they
This,
go.
yeah.
So they go after him.
Yep, and honestly, that was honestly a big critical point because Crosshair literally had the option to leave. I mean, hell, Omega literally gave him the credit that he needed to get out of there, but nope, he chose to stay. He wasn't gonna make the same mistake that he had done all those years, all that time ago, that made him lose his squad.
Yep, and maybe a rash decision to go after the dog here. I mean,
Yeah,
personally, if I'm in this situation and the dog that I've known for a couple episodes, or I guess she's has formed a relationship with him back in the kennel or whatever. But it's either I got the credits I need and I'm escaping the Empire, or going to save this dog. Come on, bruh.
yeah. I think it has more to do with the fact that like kind of loyal to Omega, and I think where she's kind of rubbing off on him a little bit more.
It just goes to show, like we were saying about Omega's character. Her character is to always do what is right, and the right thing is to go save her friend in Batcher. They try to do that. The cargo docks are swarming with Imperials and crates with more creatures inside of them. As Omega is sneaking in, it doesn't take long for Crosshair to join her. In a cute moment, Omega wants to free all the animals trapped in the cages, but Crosshair tells her to don't push it.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah. They don't need more animals on the ship. Okay.
Yeah. She's gonna have a whole zoo.
Yeah,
If they left it up to her, she's gonna bring all kinds of friends on board, knowing Omega.
she would too.
Yeah. As they get close to Batcher, the Imperial captain reveals himself. He boasts about the strict pet policy on the planet Lao. He wants his money back and drops an even bigger reveal. Dr. Hemlock is on his way. Surrounded, Omega is ready to do things Crosshair's way, and they fight back. And Omega gets to the thing she wanted to do. She rushes to the control panel and frees all the animals to cause chaos on the cargo docks while Crosshair covers them. Omega grabs Batcher to steal a ship. In the mayhem, a beast grabs the captain and eats him. Crosshair hops on the ship and they take off out of there. Boom.
Yeah,
It was a great scene seeing Omega and Crosshair fight with each other. They finally got to do it Crosshair's way in the end. And I love the captain getting eaten at the end. I thought that was a really cool moment, and I loved how they're getting a little dark in this season.
Yeah, because I was not expecting him to actually straight up get eaten. I thought he was just gonna end up like being trapped or just kind of like walled off from the area or maybe injured. But oh no, he straight up got he's done. He's done.
Yeah.
That was actually kind of funny, but still shocking. So yeah,
Man,
you're
I
right.
loved it. I love the writing of that, man. That was really cool that they put it in there. Especially for a more kids show like that. They're getting a little dark here. Hemlock
Hell yeah.
arrives to the crash shuttle and wants his troop to track the cargo ship that they stole. This cargo ship can obviously be tracked as an Imperial starship or Imperial cruiser, whatever it is. It can be tracked by the Empire. Thankfully, Crosshair and Omega are aware that their ship can be tracked. They sent a message to Hunter and Wrecker to meet them at a remote location so they can also ditch their ship. They arrive at the Season 1 planet where the Bad Batch made deals with Harris and Dula and Gobi Gill, and the Bad Batch's ship is waiting for them there. Omega runs off the ship and sprints into the arms of Wrecker. I have tears in my eyes at this moment.
Dude, that was like the moment I was waiting for. I'm just glad we got this like literally episode after the premiere. Like that stuff warmed my heart, honestly. Basically, her running up to Wrecker Hunter and hugging him and things like that. I mean, seriously, that's why I was waiting for.
Same here, man. I was super excited to see them reunited. Like I said, it brought tears. Like it was really heartwarming seeing them back together. They did a really good job with this scene. Wrecker coming in at first, and then Hunter kind of coming out a couple minutes or a couple moments after she had her moment with Wrecker, and then they're like, "So, how did you get back here. We were looking for you all this time. There was a moment where Hunter was saying, we never stopped looking for you, all that.
Hmm.
And they're getting to the point like, hey, how did you get out? How did you get out of there? And she's like, well, I had some help. And as soon as that happens, you see their eyes go up, and Crosshair walks
Uh,
out of the cruiser. And it's just like a
yeah.
moment. They show Wrecker's eyes, and like Wrecker's eyes are like mad eyes now.
Mm.
And Hunter's even looking with a little caution when he sees Crosshair come out
Yeah.
also. And it was a really tense moment and left us at a perfect moment for the next episode. Seeing Crosshair back with the Bad Batch. What's going to happen? Is Crosshair going to stay with the Bad Batch? They obviously have a lot to talk about and a lot to get over. It's like if any of y'all have had a conflict with a best friend and y'all haven't talked with each other in years, and y'all finally see each other and finally get into some conversation or something like that, and it's just like y'all got to catch up on a lot. There's a lot of things to catch up on, a lot of meshing to do before y'all can get back to that OG relationship that y'all had.
Yeah,
What?
because if Crosshair is actually gonna stick around, these are gonna still gonna be pretty tense amongst them, and it's gonna be hard for them to get that groove back, that solid team foundation that they had originally before Order 66 and everything had happened.
Yeah, they're gonna have to build that trust back up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. But honestly, I'm glad to see that the whole crew is back together. I mean, I wish Tech was there to be able to be was Tech was there to still be able to see it. But as we said in our last video, probably a safe bet that he's probably not dead. We're probably
Yeah,
gonna see him soon.
Tech is probably alive. We're probably gonna see him soon. I predicted in the last episode that maybe that they use Tech and try to use him to give up some information about the Bad Batch and their ideas, their tactics, maybe where they're going next, maybe where they would hide out. Any information like that, if they have him, maybe it's something dark where they've been running experiments on him and stuff like that. I would kind of, obviously, I wouldn't like that turn because I love Tech, but I would love for them to kind of write it in that way that Tech is down bad, kind of in the same situation that Crosshair was in latter seasons.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if they find out that he basically used his brain as some type of advanced thing as strategy for like the stormtrooper or something like that as their like strategic advisor. Like I said in the last video, because
Mm-hmm.
again, Tech is like literally one of the smartest people in the group, and especially with him being like a clone trooper defect that has the higher mental capacity. He'd be a pretty valuable asset to have on hand, especially when it comes to like training stormtroopers in like formation,
Oh
things like
yeah,
that, or like
battle
even weaponry.
tactics, teaching people. Like, there's so many uses you could have for a person, a brainiac like Tech.
I mean, seriously, he literally had Omega memorize every single formation that him and his squad have done. So, like, he's a pretty solid teacher to be able to do these type of things, and he'd be, like, again, a dangerous asset to have within the hands of the Empire.
Most definitely, most definitely. Is there any other theories that you have going forward? What is next for the Bad Batch? Where do you think they're gonna go?
With them about together in some way and still being like wanted now, since it's again they have no idea the reason like why they had wanted Omega fully, or at least not the full real reason, but like I almost anticipate them either trying to go back to the planet that was from the last season before they had to leave to go and like go and
Talking
rescue
about
other troopers.
Fat Mace Windu's planet?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, okay. So the island planet where they sent the clone troopers from the
Yeah.
previous episode, episode 2. Hmm. I could see them going back there. Wouldn't like it because I kind of want to see a new planet. I want to see them do something new. I don't have any big ideas on where they're going or what's happening next. I don't know exactly where they're going to seek safety at. They don't really have many allies around,
Yeah.
except if they maybe link with some more troopers that Echo and Rex are with. Maybe they have like a battalion, maybe they have like a rebellion group that they could possibly link with. But my mind is kind of empty on where they go next just because of their lack of allies.
Yeah, I almost think that somehow, one way or another, they probably might be doing back more favors with the Pikes to to either get like more money or to try to find some way of like getting clear free from like the galaxy away from like the Empire's clutches. But again, it's really hard to escape the whole Empire since they control every aspect of the galaxy.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
is after Order 66. The Empire is in charge right now. The rebellion is down bad. Who do they link up with? Who are their allies in the universe?
Yeah, just
Put
imagine
that
if
in
they
the
had to go.
comments.
Yeah, imagine if they have to go back to Sid after what she did.
Nah, Sid is not happening. We discussed Sid needs to get choked out by the Empire. I hope Tech gives her up somehow. Or I hope that was my prediction that Tech gives her up if they use his mind, if they try to torture him or something like that. I hope he gives her up and hope Sid is wiped off the universe, wiped off the planet. I hope she gets what's coming to her.
Yeah, well, maybe the
Yeah,
Empire. Yeah, maybe the Empire came and already took over her spot and just squeezed her out.
yeah. I hope Sid gets what's coming to her. Man, I don't see them going back to Sid either, man. I'm trying to think of allies from the past season. You are fresh off of it. You just watched it, and the only allies I can think of are the island people.
Yeah, pretty much. Because the only thing they have is pretty much it's pretty much the island people. They got Rex and Echo, and again, because they're on the move doing these missions, but like never had a clear idea of like where their base are at or like where they interact with like other clone troopers who defected and things like that. So I don't know. It's up in the air, man. It's up in the air.
Man, and maybe they go the right route where they link up with Echo and Rex, and they're like, "What's next?" And they're like, "We got to go save our brothers that are held up in this facility." And
Oh
maybe
yeah.
and maybe they go on a mission to save the rest of the clones and end up destroying Mount Tantus and killing Hemlock in all of this crazy stuff. I do think that somebody is coming in from the Empire, some type of bounty hunter, some type of force user, something like that, that is sent to chase them down. Because they're just sending stormtroopers at this point. They got to send a boss.
Yeah, true. But what if they bring back Cad Bane like he was in season like back in season one? Because that guy didn't is still is still alive because he's not
Man,
gone. Especially after facing off against Finnick Shand. Because like
what
I don't feel like she might be coming back too because he's a bounty hunter for hire. You never know.
man, somebody that was in the trailer, or where there was a sneak peek of her in the trailer, Asajj Ventress.
Oh, dude, you right. But makes me
Asajj
wonder
Ventress.
what would
I
Asajj Ventress be doing though? Because like, wasn't she like on like a whole bad terms? It was kind of like in hiding after the whole thing with trying to like kill Count Dooku or the Emperor or something.
technically she died. Died. Yeah, technically
Oh,
she died. So we're gonna have to. There's gonna have to be some backstory on how she comes back. But we did see remnants of her in a trailer, and I think there's even an interview where she's talking about Asajj Ventress coming back also. So we do know that Asajj Ventress is possibly coming. Man, I would love seeing a little more Asajj Ventress. I would love seeing a little more of her arc and finding out what really happened with her death, how she survived, if they do something with that, or if they just retcon it and just bring her back. I don't know really what Disney has right here for us. But Asajj Ventress would be a Force user I would be down with seeing.
oh yeah, I would say,
Yeah,
especially having the squad of clone troopers going up against her, whereas normally back from like the Clone Wars series, she basically was able to get through them almost like it was nothing.
real talk. We'll see how she fares against the Bad Batch, though.
Mm. Yeah, they're not your average clones.
And Omega needs to get her bow back too.
Oh,
What
yeah.
is, what is I think Omega honestly upgrades her weapon this season somehow.
Well, she ends up with like with a blaster finally, and not just a bow and a regular bow, something like that.
Man, maybe she even ends up with a saber somehow.
Oh, oh man, that would be something. Another
Yeah.
one theory I did have is like since she seems to be such a prime candidate for like the midichlorian levels and things. What is it? Is there a possibility that maybe she could potentially be a Jedi?
I think the possibility is there. I don't know if the Kaminoans hid that midichlorian count in her just to like have it and just like to hide it and be like, hey, if we ever need to clone Force users, we can use Omega's blood to do that. In turn, she of course has to have the ability to become a Force user. But as we know, it isn't all about having a midichlorian count. Obviously, if Anakin would have never received any Jedi training, he would have never became a Jedi. He would have never became Darth Vader. He would have never had the powers that he had. But because he had Jedi training and because he was taught these arts with the midichlorian count that he was able to obtain these powers. Omega is kind of at an age where she needs to start that training. If so maybe they find and seek help where there's a Jedi teacher or something like that, and she's able to train a little bit and maybe find a saber. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're not
Just
quite sure how this whole series
something at
ends.
the top of my head. I had no theories going into this video at all.
Yeah, honestly, me neither. Because again, there's a lot of potential here. There's plenty of potential within these last few episodes that we have left.
No, real talk. A lot of potential, a lot of theories, man. I'm really the next episode we're about to see kind of where the story is going and kind of where the Bad Batch is going to go. Really looking forward to when they bring Asajj Ventress and if they bring any other bounty hunters in this thing. Besides that, I can't think of any more discussion points as of now. One thing is, I'm glad the Emperor doesn't know about this because he would freak out if he knew that they had it and lost it. Glad he doesn't know about it. And it's kind of like just contrary to the Empire and kind of to the people under the Emperor that they hide stuff from him when stuff goes wrong instead of being honest and maybe getting this man's opinion on what should they do next. The commanders are always kind of hiding, trying to cover their ass, making sure they don't get killed for their
Yeah.
wrongdoings.
Oh yeah, duplicitous or just trying to save their own skin any chance they get in this empire.
Man, real talk, and that's the Empire for you. We know what the Empire offers. We ain't part of it. We're light side over here.
Yeah.
Even though I love Darth Maul, Darth Maul is probably my favorite, probably my favorite character if you discard Anakin/Darth Vader.
Yeah, true. He's definitely
Yeah.
he's definitely up there.
But who's your favorite Star Wars character? Just disregarding Vader/Anakin, because that's everybody's favorite. That's everybody's. I really connect with him. I know a lot of other people do, but besides him, who's your favorite?
For me, I've always just been a fan of Yoda, especially since like in the Clone Wars, they kind of fleshed him out more, where he's still like the wise old mentor. But even still, he does has good wisdom. But he did have a few shortcomings when it came to like close to the end of the war and everything. But he's always just kind of been my favorite because like even though he's like small and short, but you kind of underestimate him. Where he's much stronger than you think.
It's Master Yoda. Man, he was
Exactly.
one of the best Jedi fighters there is. I think I would probably like in the Jedi Order, probably like right under Mace Windu. I know Mace Windu is kind of known for having the best lightsaber skills. Obviously, Anakin was super powerful, but Yoda right up there with them, no doubt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, nobody to mess with, man. I really love the Yoda duel with Dooku in episode 2. That was
Um,
one of my favorite Yoda moments when he had to take him on, and we finally got to see like full force Yoda. Another big Yoda scene that I loved was when him and Palpatine were facing off in Revenge of the Sith.
yeah, yeah. The way
What?
he thought he had a chance. Like, it almost thought that he had a good chance of too.
Mhm.
Nothing escaped.
Man, well, I think that does it. They did just announce. Hold up, Victor sent me a tweet and he wanted us to discuss it on here. So let's do that. Let me pull this up real quick. This will be our last discussion point, and then we will get out of here. Lucasfilms confirms the working title for the Rey film is New Jedi Order. A New Beginning as the title is categorically incorrect. So I guess they're planning to name the new film the New Jedi Order. How do you feel about this new Rey movie?
I personally, after what Disney did for the sequel trilogy, from first did with the sequel trilogy, and by the end with Rise of Skywalker, I'm not really excited for it. I honestly thought that they were done and were just gonna focus on like the other Jedi movie was gonna focus on like the first Jedi.
I would be perfectly fine with them scrapping Rey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be perfectly fine with them scrapping Rey. I'm not excited for this movie at all. They're probably just gonna mess more of the Star Wars story up. Why is Rey leading a new Jedi Order? It's not like Rey has like all this wisdom about the Jedi or anything like that. I think
Mm.
the right person, we'll have to see how their story goes. I think the right person to restart this new Jedi Order would be Grogu. If you're going to restart the Jedi Order, you've built up this character. Why don't you go down the line with Grogu and have him do it instead of Rey? I feel like Grogu is beloved of everyone, and Rey, not so much. I don't think I don't know a single Star Wars fan that likes the Rey movies, that likes the Disney trilogy. I'm sure there's some out there. I have seen some on social networks, but I feel like Grogu should take the place of restarting the Jedi Order. The only way I like this movie is if they really turn our hearts and really stab us in the heart and bring Grogu back as the villain.
A potential villain.
Back as the villain. How does that happen? This man cannot save the Mandalorian, and the Mandalorian somehow dies in the movie, and it turns Grogu to the dark side.
Hmm. Not bad. Honestly, that wouldn't be bad. That's not really a bad theory. But honestly, honestly, my theory would have been best is if again, I probably haven't played like the Star Wars Jedi Order games, but I would like it if Cameron Monaghan's character Cal was basically brought into the New Order, and like again, I think because again he's been a Jedi ever since like after Order 66 started. He's had like more time with training and has more wisdom than
Yeah,
Rey. So like it made more sense if he came up with a new Rising Jedi Order and she like just came along and just kind of just met him at a chance. Because again, Rey is not the wisest. Clearly, honestly, I'm sure she's had some teachings from Leia, but I wouldn't say that really makes her like the real full Jedi with the most wisdom, like Luke Skywalker was when he learned. And
mm-hmm.
then, because again, Luke Skywalker, he made like a whole new Jedi Order school,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which again had fallen due to like the whole thing with him and Kylo Ren, and with the like the new when like the new order.
We're still unsure of what really went down with all that. If we can be really honest, man, they really messed up on the whole storyline with that trilogy. But like we said, we do not want to see Rey take the lead on the new Jedi Order. I would like Cal to come in at some point. They have to make a movie for this man. I mean, they have the perfect actor.
Yeah,
Or yeah,
Cameron Monaghan even said he would actually love for his character to continue on into the movies and stuff if it makes sense and the story is right. Honestly, this is like the
man.
best time to segue him in there.
I feel like it's only right for him to get like a solo movie. Don't bring him in as a side character. Like this man has some importance in the Star Wars universe, having two games after him. Man, they need to build something off of him, and maybe they wait a little bit and make the story when he's a little older, and that'll be perfect as he's getting older as an actor. So maybe they do something with him in the future that's really exciting to think about. Hopefully, Star Wars turns it around in 2024 and gives us some good content and gets back going this way. Because at the end of the day, I want more Star Wars content. If they keep failing with this content like they're gonna do with the Rey movie, we're not going to get more Star Wars content. They're not going to make as many TV shows. Like, we already see that with Disney's agenda. So I'm hoping for the best from the Rey movie. I don't have a lot of hope for it. That was the conversational piece, Victor. Hope you're happy with that. And I think that's all for this episode.
Yep. So again, thank you guys for watching this video. Again, we're going to continue on with this week after week until the whole series finale. Again, this is a big screen show. I'm Alex.
I'm Wyatt. Thank you for having me, Alex. Thank you for having me, guys. I am super excited to be with y'all for this season of The Bad Batch. We'll see y'all next week for episode 5. Thanks for viewing the Big Screen Show. Bye, guys.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Don't forget about it.
And may the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a great weekend.